Good morning children. I welcome you all to the next video of class 11th business studies. We have started with the first chapter and this is the fourth part of first chapter. Start with classification of commerce. So it is being classified into two broad categories, that is trade and aids to trade. So first we are going to talk about trade. What is trade? Trade is an integral part of the commerce. It refers to buying and selling of goods and services. The trade segment of commerce brings together the manufacturer and the consumer. Traders act as a link between manufacturer and consumer. In the absence of traders, the manufacturer will have to search for consumers and the consumers will have to search for manufacturers. So trade can also be classified into two types: internal trade and external trade. So first we are going to talk about internal trade. What is internal trade? Refers to buying and selling of goods and services within the geographical boundaries of a country. It is known as the home trade. Under internal trade, goods and services are bought and sold in the home currency only. The internal trade can be divided into two parts, that is wholesaler and retail trade. So, what is wholesale trade? It refers to buying and selling of goods and services in large quantity. The wholesaler buy goods directly from the manufacturer and sell these goods to the retailer. Generally, wholesaler is specialized in one line of product. He maintains a large stock. He buys goods for cash from manufacturer and sells it on credit to retailer. Then retail trade, it refers to buying and selling of goods and services in small quantities. The retailer buys goods from the wholesaler and sell these goods to the ultimate customers. Now we move ahead to external trade. What is external trade? External trade is, it refers to buying and selling of goods and services beyond the geographical boundaries or the limits of the country. It is known as trade between two or more countries. In external trade, the market is very wide. External trade helps the businessmen to use the resources of their country in a competitive way. External trade involves completion of various rules and regulations such as licensing, custom clearance. External trade is of the following type. It can be export, then import, and then entry port. What are these three? Let me explain you. First of all, we are going to talk about export. What is export? It refers to sale of goods to a foreign country. The developing countries like India encourage export as it results in increasing foreign reserves. Then we move on to import. Import refers to buying of goods from a foreign country. Import of technology or capital goods is encouraged as compared to import of consumer goods. Then we move on to entry port. What is this? It refers to import of goods for the purpose of export. In entry port, the goods are purchased from a foreign country but not for the consumption in the home country, but for the selling of these goods to some other foreign country. We move on to auxiliary to trade. Auxiliary to trade, the activities which help in smooth flow of the trade are known as aids to trade. These activities make buying and selling of goods more easy. I have already explained you that there are transport and communication, banking and finance, insurance, warehousing and advertising is included in aids to trade. Now I am going to explain you further. First is transport and communication. So what is this? Transport refers to the movement of goods from one place to another. The production of goods take place at one place, whereas these are demanded in different parts of the country. The obstacle of place is removed by transport. Then, along with transport, the communication is also an important service. Communication helps in exchange of information between producers, consumers and traders. The common communication service are postal services, telephone services, fax, internet, etc. Then we move ahead to banking and finance. So in banking and finance, banks and financial institutions provide credit facilities, loan, etc. to provide finance for smooth flow of business activities. Banks help the businessmen to overcome the problem of funds. Then insurance, businessmen have to bear various types of risk. Insurance provides protection for some kinds of risk such as risk of loss due to fire, theft, accident. So the insurance company provides protection to the employees against the risk of accident while working. Next is warehousing. Usually there is a little gap between the production, time gap between production and consumption of the goods. So goods are not consumed immediately when they are being produced. So they are being stored in warehousing. The warehousing helps the businessman to overcome the problem of storage. Warehouses are constructed keeping in mind the nature of goods. Warehouses facilitates the availability of goods whenever required. Then we move ahead to advertising. Practically, it is impossible for a manufacturer to contact each and every customer. Advertisement help them to overcome this problem. Goods are advertised to inform the customer about their uses, quality and prices, and advertisement spread awareness among the customers regarding new goods and their uses. Then we move ahead to business risk. What is business risk? Business risk refers to the probability of losses or inadequate profits due to uncertainties or unexpected events which are beyond control. So we can say business risk means a chance of incurring losses or less profit than expected. So first we are going to talk about the nature of business risk. What is the nature of business risk? First, business risk arises due to uncertainties. Uncertainty means when you are not sure of what is going to happen in future. Common examples: change in demand, government policy, technology. Second is risk is an essential part of every business. Important characteristics of business: no business can avoid risk, although degree of risk may vary. Risk can be reduced but cannot be eliminated. Then degree of risk depends upon the nature and size of business. For example, a business involved a fashion item bears more risk as compared to business involved in standardized goods. Similarly, a business operating at large scale bears more risk as compared to small scale business. Then fourth is profit is the reward of for bearing this risk. Businessmen earn profit because they are bearing risk. No risk, no gain. Larger the risk, more is the profit. An entrepreneur bear this risk with the expectation of earning profit. Then we are going to talk about the causes of business risk. First is natural causes. Nature is an independent phenomena and human beings have no control over it. So the natural causes are such type of uncertain factors that human being cannot make any preparation against, like natural calamities like earthquake, flood, drought, famine. Then human. What are human causes? Human causes are related to the chance of loss due to human beings or employees of the organization. Dishonesty of the employee can bring heavy losses for business. The employees may be careless and may mishandle the machinery and resources, which can also bring heavy losses by wastage of resources. Then we are going to talk about economic causes are related to a chance of loss due to change in the market condition. There can be price fluctuation in the market. There can be change in fashion, taste, preference and demand of the customers. Then physical causes. What are they? All the causes will result in the damage of assets are considered as physical cause. For example, change in technology may result in machinery being outdated. Use of old technology, mechanical defects may also result in demand of assets such as bursting of boiler, accident to employees, etc. Now we are going to talk about the types of business risk. The business risk can be classified into major categories. First is insurable risk, that is the risk which can be recovered are called insurable risk. The losses which can be made good or losses for which company can be compensation from insurance company are called insurable risk. Then non-insurable risk, the risk for which no protection is available are called non-insurable risk. Generally the economic risk and human risk are non-insurable risk. Then speculative risk involve both the possibility of profit as well as loss. Example, change in demand, price, change in fashion, etc. Then we are going to talk about pure risk. What are pure risks? Pure risks involve only possibility of loss or no loss. Their occurrence result in loss and no loss, or no occurrence means loss and no occurrence means no loss. Example, chance of fire, theft, strike, etc. So we have covered this chapter. Now you are going to prepare all the notes which I have already given you for this chapter. We are going to meet in the next video. Up till then, goodbye children.